The American Revolution. Timeline by Cy Marshall. Hi, my name is Cy, and I'm going to teach you about how America was born in the American Revolution. It all started in 1492 when Christopher Columbus sailed the ocean blue. Finally, 115 years later, the first colony, Jamestown, was founded by John Smith. Over the next 125 years, 12 more colonies would be created. Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Maryland, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Delaware, North and South Carolina, New York and New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Georgia, giving you the 13 colonies. Things started to get interesting in 1763 when the British decided to interfere with the colonies as if they were in charge. The British passed acts and taxes on the colonies such as the Sugar Act, Stamp Act, Quartering Act, Townshend Revenue Act, and they sent British troops to the colonies to keep an eye on things. As you can imagine, the colonists were not happy with the British at all, because the whole reason they left was to get away from all the king's laws. Frustrated with all the new laws, a crowd of colonists started to yell and throw things at the soldiers. Surprised and mad, they fired back, killing 5 people. This is known as the Boston Massacre. Although the Townshend Act was repealed 7 days later in 1773, the Tea Act was passed, which infuriated the colonists. Still mad about the Tea Act, colonial patriots dressed up as Native Americans and dumped $9,000 of British tea into the Boston Harbor. This is known as the Boston Tea Party. In retaliation to the Boston Tea Party, Britain passed the Ottawa Act, which basically took away any rights that Massachusetts had. The First Continental Congress was a meeting of delegates from each colony, except Georgia, who met to speak about a plan to get rid of the Ottawa Acts. The goals were to boycott British goods, attempt to establish American rights that put limits on Parliament's power, and improve the training of citizens to prepare for war. It's a good thing that they decided to start preparing for war because the British were coming. The British are prepared for a sure surprise attack and victory at Lexington, but little did they know that the colony's Minutemen were ready for battle. Sure enough, the British approached Lexington with about 70 Minutemen waiting on them. A shot is fired and the war started. Although outnumbered by Minutemen at first, reinforcements joined the British at Concord. Outnumbered, the Minutemen still thwarted the British advance. George Washington is selected Commander-in-Chief of the Army in perfect timing because the war was just warming up. Once again, the British lose to the American Army at the Battle of Bunker Hill. The Americans had accidentally positioned themselves on Breed's Hill, which was closer to the British position. Surprised and angry, the British marched up the hill trying to scare away the colonists, but instead they fired and killed about half of the army. Finally, the colonists have had enough with Britain, so they draft out the Declaration of Independence. On Christmas of 1776, the colonial army, led by George Washington, invaded British camp at Trenton in the middle of the night. A week later, they attacked Princeton, then retreated to prepare for their next battle. The Battle of Saratoga was a major turning point in the war. Not only did the British surrender or lose over 5,000 troops and boost colonist morale, but the battle also caught the French eye. In 1781, the colonists ratified the Articles of Confederation, giving them a united government. The final battle of the Revolutionary War occurred in 1781 at Yorktown, in which Cornwallis completely surrenders. The British start to make peace negotiations in 1782, and the Treaty of Paris was finally complete in 1783. America is now a free and separate country. The end.
Created using Powtoon.